everybody. Welcome to a special episode of First to 20. This is the night before we all fly to EVO, and I'm here with Tubbleware to talk about the biggest fighting game tournament to happen every single year. What's going on, man?
I've just been super busy getting ready. Like you said, we're all flying out tomorrow. Some people have already flown out, but
I know all
the
day
majority
today.
of us
Saw
are
people.
flying out tomorrow. So, dude, normally I leave for EVO on Monday.
What?
I don't have I have family out there, so I visit people in Vegas.
Oh, snap. That's right.
Yeah, but I don't have that luxury this year. This year I'm not getting into EVO or into EVO. That's pretty much what it is. I'm not getting into Vegas until, I don't know, almost midnight. So it's going to be fun. But yeah, I've been super busy. I can imagine you have been as well.
Yeah, it's been crazy, man. Like all this week, it's just been people talking about Evo, and all today, right? Like we're recording this on Wednesday. All today is people like, I'm on my plane, I just landed. Look, here's a slot machine. I'm so excited. Like it's the whole, the whole thing. It's like tournament doesn't start until Friday. People are already hype, already starting to get into the city. So, yeah, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about like kind of Evo and the legacy of it, but also just, what's coming up this year that's going to make it super exciting. Because for me as somebody who came into, fighting games around Street Fighter 4, 2009 era, like Evo was already just this name that you like kind of knew. You didn't understood why you knew it. You just knew it was the biggest, most important fighting game tournament. It was kind of like why you didn't know who, like you didn't understand when you first heard about Metallica, but you've always known who they are. kind of like that.
It's a good comparison. Or even a lot of people will say it's the Super Bowl of fighting games, because even if you don't watch football, you know what the Super Bowl is. Just it's the big grand championship. And Evo has had a long history now. One of the longest running tournaments in existence, period. But the reason that it's become what it is, one of the main reasons, it was the first big tournament that people actually flew out to. Long ago on the internet, the early days of public access internet, there was a IRC channel. There still is an IRC channel that not many people use, but there's like an IRC channel where people would talk about Street Fighter, and Tom and Tony Cannon were like, you know what, we want to host a tournament. So they hosted the first B3, which was Battle by the Bay. And that was way back in 1996.
Oh, man.
So that was like the first big fighting game tournament. I think like 300 some people came, or maybe not even. But it was the first big event. Internationals came. It was huge. And then they did it again 4 years later. And then ever since the year 2000, they have run this tournament. It was in 2000, it was B4. 2001 was B5. And then in 2002, they moved to Las Vegas, changed the name to Evolution. The rest has been history. So, it's generally regarded as the first major tournament ever in existence.
Man, that is like, it's such a huge legacy, right? Like it's one of those things. Like I remember when I first got into Street Fighter 4, like people talking about Evo everywhere that you touch Street Fighter 4, people, Evo was like the constant underlying discussion for that game. Like what's going to happen at Evo? Who's going to win the first? Like it was just something you immediately heard about as soon as you were exposed to the competitive side of the things. And it's just one of those mind-boggling things. It's been something that I've tried to watch year after year after year. This is actually going to be my second Evo. Last year was my first. Had an amazing time. Very excited this year about it all being in one building.
Yeah, that was a problem last year.
Also excited that Street Fighter is going to be back on ESPN, because that was super dope last year. Because I remember like a lot of people who weren't able to make it, like they were hitting me up on Twitter like, oh, hey, you're there? Because I'm watching it on TV. Like
right.
It was just this like super surreal thing. So yeah, I mean, Evo's just, it's freaking great. Tell me what you're excited about this year. This is a repeat year for you, not only going, but also commentating, right?
Yeah. This will be the second time I'm commentating. Fun fact, my first major tournament was Evo in 2009.
Really?
At the time, I lived in Las Vegas, so it was convenient.
It's like, yeah, Super Bowl's down the street. I'll get a ticket.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
cool.
I might as well go. I did really well, actually, too. But that's a different story for a different time. But yeah, so this will be the second year I'm commentating. Last year, I got my first bid to ever commentate in Evo. I did some Marvel and some KI last year.
Nice.
This year there is no Killer Instinct, so I'm just doing Marvel. But yeah, I'm super excited to comment. Man, I it's the last year Marvel 3 at least will ever be at Evo. Almost guaranteed, unless they do like some weird legacy Evo 10 years from now. But anyways, so Marvel Infinite's on the horizon. It literally comes out in 2 months. 2 months and 7 days. And
Someone's counting.
Yeah. I'm not counting the days at all, man. Not even a little bit. Yeah, no, so that game is coming out soon. Marvel 3 is going to go the way of the dodo bird as far as competitive play goes.
Oh man, so it's gonna be like somebody was asking me on Twitter what I was excited about, and like I'm excited to see how Marvel goes down this year because it's the last year, right? Like it's the swan song. Like there's no run backs after this, right?
No, and what's really interesting about Marvel, I mean, I could go on for days. I was just on Ultra Chen last night talking about this, but one of the really interesting things about that game in particular is there's never been a repeat champion. Every single year has been a different champion, and if I was a betting man, I'd bet that Chris G does not repeat this year. So every single year of this game will most likely have a different champion, which is
but what if he
incredible.
does though? Like then he's a god, immortalized forever.
That'll cement him as the greatest Marvel 3 player of all time, no question.
Oh man. Yeah, this Evo is gonna be big for a lot of reasons. I'm really excited about it. There's not only is there like this huge spread of games that I'm incredibly psyched about because there were so many new titles that dropped recently, right? Like Tekken 7 is gonna be at Evo for the first time. I've never seen.
Whoa. Tekken 7 is going to be at Evo for the 4th time.
Well, Tekken for the 4th time, but this is the first time we're seeing it on.
No. Tekken 7, this will be its 4th time. Tekken 7 was at Evo 4 years ago.
Well, but not on Sunday. Not with like the biggest amount of entrants for a Tekken tournament like ever, right? Like this.
Fair. That is true.
This is like correct. The most popular Tekken has ever been.
Yes, that is 100%, and it's the first time Tekken 7's officially released and gonna be at Evo.
There you go. That's what I was looking for because I know it was there last year. Like I saw it. I saw the Tekken people
they've
crowded
had
around.
3.
I was like, that looks like Tekken. That's fine. But like since release, people have been so hype on Tekken. Like last week at the local where we're all supposed to be playing anime, there was 4 goddamn Tekken setups. Speed Kicks came out to the anime local where there were more Tekken setups than anime.
Gotta go hard, man.
Like that is how hype people are for Tekken. It's just pulling people off other games. Like it's crazy. Or maybe it's just because I'm in Georgia and Atlanta is Tekken.
Atlanta's kind of a Tekken hub.
Everybody might be a Tekken player down here. We just don't know. But yeah, it's gonna be hype. I'm really excited for it. I know a lot of people are psyched for Injustice 2 or coming out and being on Evo for the first time. MKX gets to retire now and chill out, and all the NRS warriors get to move to being superheroes again.
Yep. That's kind of what the NRS players do too. They play the latest game. They play as being supported, which is fine. I mean, to be fair, the only reason Capcom players haven't done that is because they haven't had a game switch. And as soon as they did, Street Fighter 4 went bye-bye. Street Fighter 5 is a thing. So that's pretty normal. You play the latest game, whatever has the most competition.
Indeed. I know Guilty Gear had like a crap load of entrants this year. I know, what else? Well, BlazBlue gets Sunday, and as someone who plays BlazBlue, very excited.
Yeah, you're probably super excited about that, man. That's
dude,
awesome.
I'm so excited because it's been since 2014, right? 2014 was the last time BlazBlue was like showcased at Evo, right? Like, and it's not to say it's not to say there weren't side tournaments somewhere. But it was the last time it was, main stage game. The finals were some of the hypest matches, period. Like, I still go back and watch that, And so, like, just to have the game back is super exciting. I know the BlazBlue community is really excited about it. I know that we're all, like, hoping to hear, like, secret announcements because even though they told us it was the last one, we were like, well, last year they dropped a lot of Guilty Gear news and, who knows? So it's going to be good. I'm a little salty. My pool's at 10 a.m., but you do what you can.
It could be worse. It could be at 8.
Oh, this is true. Actually, I heard that this year there's going to be no 8 a.m. pools.
No 8 a.m.s this year, which is awesome. That's 8 a.m. pools are rough, man. Nobody wants to be there. It's too early. Everybody's out late. It's in Las Vegas, right? Like nobody's going to bed at 9 p.m. Like
nobody's doing that. You may as well just stay up all night.
Yep.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It was funny because it being set in Vegas, I feel like really does change the atmosphere compared to a lot of other tournaments. Whereas where like a lot of tournaments they tend to take place like, oh, we found a convenient hotel or a venue near the airport, or it's out here like in the suburbs somewhere where like things are a little cheaper. But like Evo's just in Vegas. Like you can't avoid the fact that it's just on the main strip. Like it is right there.
Yeah, and that's part of what makes the tournament special in general because I'd say 95% of fighting game tournaments out there. Once you're out of the tournament, your options are watch other people play casuals, or that's it. That's what you do. But if you lose in Vegas, which 99.9%